You are listening to 100.9 on your FM dial. This is KWTN, the Big Voice Radio, the official radio of the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska. And tonight, Wednesday night, you are listening live to the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Q, along here with Coach Eug. And tonight we have a special guest with us. She always is there for our kids. She's always there for us. And she's always there for Eug. Coach Brooke Decora is in the house with us tonight. We have some pretty crazy topics tonight. We try to mix it up from week to week. We try to inform the listeners and all the people watching on YouTube and Facebook. Try to get you guys all informed of certain things that are going around this area. Maybe some of the top sports things that are going around this area with the tribes that are here in Northeast Nebraska. Man, we went from football to women's or girls golf to basketball, cross country, golf. We did sand volleyball. You know, we just did an interview with Diami about running. Man, like we're just trying to mix it all up with this sports talk show. So tonight I'm gonna say welcome to Coach Eug and Brooke for coming in and gonna help me knock out this weekly topic list here. So say hello.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How's it going?
So Coach Eug, I know that we talked about this before, and it seems like any of the major sporting events, whether it be local with our local athletes, we go a little bit further out to the neighboring tribes, their sports, and then we go even further to collegiate, and then we try to either be at these events or because I always see you at the events that I go to.
Yeah.
You know, and then the ones that we are not able to go to, maybe some big events that are on TV. It seems like we always catch each other sitting around the same TV watching, that event too. So this sports talk show is, I think, it's a pretty easy gig right here because man, we talk about this stuff all the time anyway.
Yeah, it's just a natural topic for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, everybody likes their sports. Everybody likes to dive in and kind of give their own opinions about each team or this guy that does this certain thing or whatnot. So yeah, looking forward to it, man. Should be a good one today.
Yeah, like me and you talked about this before too. Like, doing a talk show, whether it's sports or other kind of news or whatever, it always seems better when there's like 2 or 3 people discussing it because. You get one person discussing sports, you only get one angle at it,
I was going to say, you're going to bring your Stephen A at us and have a real strong opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's kind of like if you really wanted to get through it, that's kind of where we'd be at for it. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, because I, like myself, I'll sit there, I'll talk about a certain topic on a certain sport, and then, I think that, oh man, I really sound like I know what I was talking about right there. and then you come along and you give your opinion, I'll be like, oh yeah, I got to look at it like that too, So it's always good to get 2 or maybe even 3 or 4 different opinions, or their look on the sport itself, or even what we're talking about, even talking about refs.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty easy gig for us, and we got a full lineup tonight for the talk show. Tonight we're gonna be talking about some fighting. Like we're gonna be talking about fighting tonight. We're gonna talk about UFC a little bit. We're going to talk about this bare knuckle fighting, and then talk about boxing. We'll definitely knock out, like that pun. We'll definitely knock out this boxing and this fighting topic.
And knock that joker out.
Yeah, and then listeners, we're gonna have some top threes. I mean, people do top 5 and top 10. We're gonna do top 3 tonight because I think doing top 5 or 10 will be just. We'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to do top 3 tonight. After we get done talking about the UFC and bare knuckle fighting and the boxing, we're going to get into discuss our top 3 boxing movies. And I guess you can branch out and if there's some UFC movies or something like that, but we'll say fighting movies, your top 3. Because after I was thinking about it, man, I was watch a couple other ones, good fighting movies like Gladiator and stuff. They weren't really boxing. They were bare knuckle fighting, So anyway, but we'll get to that. And then our next topic we'll be talking about one that I love talking about, and I know that you guys can share your guys' opinions as well, is about the NBA playoffs. I know that your household watches the NBA playoffs. I know mine does, where the month of April is filled with birthdays in my family and filled with NBA playoff games. So we'll talk in depth about those, and we'll see who you guys got. I already know who you guys got picked. Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk about the top 3 basketball movies, and then do a discussion about those basketball movies too. And then what we're gonna do is get into just a little bit of football news, about the NFL, and also talk a little bit about the Nebraska Cornhuskers spring game that happened this past Saturday down in Lincoln, that a number of our local students and student athletes got a chance to go down there and check the game out and stuff like that. So we'll discuss that a little bit, and then go on to our last topic of being the top 3 football movies. I was kind of piggybacking off of the other radio shows that we have here at KWTN. They were doing a lot of the top 5s on, top 5 Motown songs, top 5 rock songs, and classic rock and whatnot. So I figured, hey, let's do our top 10s or top 15s or whatever. But tonight we're gonna go do top 3 boxing movies, top 3 basketball movies, and then top 3 football movies. So that's gonna be. Oh my goodness! Hey. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are being surprised today by one of the local legends in our community here. I don't even know who asked him to come up here, but but I'm glad that he showed up to this conversation, because we're gonna have some fun.
Let's get it going. There was an empty seat, so
it kind of works out perfect for. Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by my brother Buffalo Bass.
How's it going, everybody? How's it going?
I think he might have read the topics online today, and he must really want to get in this conversation with these movies.
Actually, I'm working overtime across the street over here, and I see his car, so I figured I'd stop in.
Oh, there you go, double dipping. Nah,
we get paid for this?
Yeah. He said, "Hold on, I'm on my break. Hold on, I'm on lunch." No, but hey, yeah. Let's get into it. Then I don't really follow UFC. I added UFC on here because Coach Manny was going to be here, and he has a rundown of a lot of these new fighters in UFC, the champs and all that kind of stuff, who the big dogs are. So I'm not sure. Do you guys follow UFC at all, Eug?
I'll catch it if there's like a big match. Everybody's kind of hyping it up.
Same.
And if everybody's kind of about it, then let's check it out, and we'll kind of see, and then kind of root for whoever's the underdog usually. I used to watch it when Silva was real popular.
Well, back in the day too, when Hoist Gracie and Tank Abbott and all those guys, those were the days when you could watch that way. Everything goes except for biting.
Yeah.
You can do anything back then. You'll kick them while they're down.
Mike Tyson got kicked out for that. No, but even back in the day, do you remember the UFC? They had a video game come out, their very first video game that came out, and there were. I remember Houston Alexander. He actually fights with nephew Carlos down there, bare knuckle fighting. He still fights right down there. Houston Alexander was on that video game, and then
Native Boy,
bro from over in Tama.
Yeah.
He was on there.
The Hammer. They call him the Hammer.
But
Funmaker. Hank Funmaker? Henry Funmaker? Is that who it was?
Man,
Hammer and
You're
Hank.
gonna make me look it up.
I know.
Look it up and see what's going on. We should do a little side bet, see if I'm right.
All right, well, you guys can look at that. But yeah, on that old video game, I remember my bro Josh had the video game. And I was like, "Shoot, I'm gonna be the native boy all the time." Man, he always got beat up.
Yeah.
You're way off, though. Andre Roberts.
That's who it was. Who did I say?
Way off. You're talking about some fun maker.
Yeah, wasn't there fun makers fighting over there too, though?
Might have been, but
the fun maker's a no chunk name, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hey,
anyway,
actually,
back on track. Get it back on track.
Oh, my bad.
Actually, who did you say it was?
Andre Roberts.
That's right.
Bro, I think he actually, either him or his little brother fought in Sioux City this past weekend up at a boxing match up there. So anyway, but yeah, he was on that UFC game. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Have a boy from Tama on a UFC game, so that was pretty cool. Well, I don't know anybody UFC right now. I just know that man, it's like every weekend is a pay-per-view. I mean, UFC fighters, you kind of gotta have either an illegal satellite so you can watch them every weekend, or you're gonna be rolling, and making some money. So
I mean, I'm looking at the list of undefeateds at UFC right now, and I can't even say half these last names. And we announce last names for a living,
yeah,
Probably all Russian.
Nurmagomedov or something like that. Then he's 16-0. Chimaev is 12-0. You're talking about Mokaev is 10-0. You're talking Eloev is 16-0.
One of my favorite UFC guys back in the day is Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah.
Remember big old Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, he
Big old
fought
dude,
UFC
man.
for a while. Yeah, that was good. He was
I
good.
like those two brothers that they still kind of fight once in a while. They used to be old. I think members of a gang over in L.A. or something like that. The two Diaz brothers.
Oh, Diaz brothers,
those guys.
yeah.
Yeah, those guys are. I kind of followed them for a little bit when I was paying attention.
All right, well, I don't think anybody here has a phase, but old faves, honestly.
Yeah,
I think we all gonna have
faves.
old faves
Yeah,
right here.
for
So.
real.
Well, that's what I was thinking, that Coach Manning probably could have had, gave us a rundown of who all these new guys are. And stuff
He
like
just
that,
be talking about LeBron. Nobody want to hear
LeBron
No.
can't take a hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
me
like
start.
you said, moving us on over here to
Yeah.
BKFC, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, or the league essentially that's the one that Carlos fights out of.
Yep.
Are 4. I'm looking at the lineup that's coming up. I mean, the fight's happening on November 18th. It looks like it's a ways away. It might be sooner if you guys tell me as long.
No, he's
maybe
got
I'm reading
tickets
the
for
old
sale.
one.
You might be looking at an old one.
Old one?
He's-
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually fighting next month.
Okay.
I think down
Yeah.
Omaha sometime.
Yeah, here I'll give you
I
guys
think
a
he's
little.
got it, but
I got
I
this
mean,
part.
we've been at it for a while now. I mean, I think we've all went and watched Carlos when he was fighting out at Winnebago the past couple times, right?
for sure.
We
Yeah,
were all
yeah.
out there for
and
that one.
And I remember Buff and his wife, they went down to go watch him fight in Omaha this last time he
Yep.
fought.
Yep.
And that turned out to be a good fight right
Yeah,
there.
it was a good fight. Yeah, he actually got dropped.
Yeah,
he
and
got,
I watched it. I think somebody
Yeah.
had a live stream going. I was watching
Yeah.
live stream, but yeah, it was. I mean, you sit there and you sit there and watch these guys bare knuckle punch each other. Remember back in the day when we always fought at home. That wasn't even fun.
no bare knuckles.
That
Coach
was-
always grabbed
that-
a hammer
that
or a
wasn't-
shovel or something
Hey,
like that.
that wasn't
Chase me
even,
down.
that wasn't even fun getting sucker punched.
Hey, I'm gonna have to excuse myself after that, though. I got to get back over.
All right, man.
So,
Nice talking.
nice talking to you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for hanging
All
out.
right.
Enjoy your evening, y'all.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Buff. Hey, so yeah, I asked Carlos about the bare knuckle fighting, and then I'm just gonna let you know what's going on. So Carlos has a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He's 2-0 in the MMA. Both wins were by knockout. And all this information, he'll probably let the fans and the listeners know again when we do talk with him. 'Cause
Yeah,
I have
you might want to just save that one, man. You know what I mean? Might as well move on. To
well, I'm just gonna kind of give the people something
There you go.
to come back for next week, because we're gonna have an awesome interview next week.
Yeah.
So in bare knuckle, he's 3-0. He won 2 of them by KO, and he fights for the bare knuckle fighting championship, like you just now said, Huge. And so his next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be it's scheduled for May 19th. May 19th in Omaha,
Right around the
Nebraska.
corner, yep.
Yeah, at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. So yeah, Carlos is from the Snake family up here. My sister
Rolled up
Annabelle,
Winnebago, yeah.
my Choco Rubin, those guys. All those. This Carlos is a descendant from Choco Rubin Snake, and so yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of good information about his upcoming fights next week. We just now secured an interview with Carlos for next week, so we're really going to hype up this bare knuckle fighting in our next episode. So make sure and come back and tune in for that interview.
Yeah,
And
should be
we're-
a lot of fun, man.
And bro, we're not just trying to interview him. We're trying to interview his brother.
No,
'Cause
okay. He's fighting
fights,
too
he
now,
fights
right?
too,
Mhm.
and then his mom Annabelle, because she always probably slapped those guys.
Yeah, I
up
was
growing
gonna say, yeah.
That's
You
that's
get
probably
her
how
in
they
there.
learned.
Yeah,
Learn to take a
yeah.
punch. Hey, pick that up. Stuff like that. But and then shout out to Carlos too. I know that he asked for the link so he can listen on the radio station tonight. So shout out to you, Carlos, for just for being the athlete that you are and the example that you are for maybe upcoming Winnebagos or upcoming native kids, that may want
Yeah,
to get
because
into
I mean,
fighting.
I think even Scott Aldrich is still working to try to get our boxing program up and off the ground, and I know that we've already had conversations even on this show talking about what's it going to take for Winnebago to get back into that next realm of boxing, because there's a rich history of boxing in itself here at Winnebago.
Yeah.
I mean, even like when I was a little pup, I mean, there was even a boxing ring that was at Whirling Thunder, and I remember attending an actual boxing event at Whirling Thunder.
He'll tell you why he remembers.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't fighting at all. No, I wasn't fighting at all. We just went down there and watched, and I think my buddy Duran, Ramon, I think they both fought in it. Yeah. And then I can't remember exactly who the older kids were, but I know that those guys both got to participate in that. And but even on their side of the family, with the Blackfishes and the Lauras, you know, they got a real rich history of boxing around their family as well. And I know that there's, like I said, I know Scott's working hard at it. We've been talking about it. I know the club's trying to get after it and trying to create that. And it's not necessarily, like you said, it's really not for the fact of that you're trying to build fighters. It's just that you're trying to build discipline.
Yep. Yeah, in any sport, I say, especially boxing, you really get the discipline. Any kind of fighting you have to do. Yeah. You got to have a lot of discipline in there, you know. So, man, you know, those names that you brought up, though, I remember some of those names, you know. Remember Nelson Levering? He was a Golden Glove boxer in the military. I remember my Choka PJ LaPointe. He was a Golden Glove boxer. He boxed for the United States Army. Yep. And so, you know, we have a lot of, like you said, the rich history of boxing here. But where to go, you know? Yeah. Where to go.
And it's the same thing that we've been talking about, even like with the baseball. Like at one point it was here, but it's like the one individual that wanted to make it happen either got old enough or just kind of gave it up, or just, you know, was too old to keep it going, or ran out of support. But it literally, like, you know, and I say this all the time, folks, it's like this community can do the most for all our kids. It literally just comes down to people. You know, and it's having people in place to take those reins and say, all right, I'm going to own this. I'm going to control this. We're going to build this program, and it's going to stay here for a long time. And if I'm not going to do it, this is the next guy, or this is the next person. It's just, it's got to come from us. We can't reach outside and go get it anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like it literally has to come from the community itself.
Yeah.
I know Winnebago, you had a lot of good female fighters too. You know, shout out to Maria Tequila, Maria Scott.
Oh yeah.
Heard stories about her, and then Little Tequila. I know Rennie was in there too.
Yeah.
Our boss, Felicia Masquat.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even like what you're saying, like with the females, there could be a huge following even with that. You know what I mean? Because look at the female wrestlers that got bred just from the wrestling program starting. Yeah. You know, if you were to do that and like go out there and chase it, you know, and try to get after it, I mean, there's Golden Gloves up for grabs. There's, you know, boxing for Team USA or whatnot. And we always say that about our kids around this whole area, really, the Northeast area, with, you know, our Omaha relatives here, the Santee relatives, and everything like that. It's like there's just athletes everywhere. They just need the opportunity. Yeah,
and I remember a few years back, Whirling Thunder had a few years back. This had to be like almost 20 years ago.
You're talking over 20, bro.
Exactly. So I remember, 90s. But I remember we had Coach Dan Ford came down and was trying to coach our kids too in boxing a little bit, and that didn't even last that long. He had a gym in Sioux City, and man, he was coaching a couple of our boys here in Winnebago. Mm-hmm. Those guys could have went on to be some good boxers. You know, Roman Perales, a hard hitter like that. You know, and to teach him how to box, and he was doing good. You know. Yeah. And I don't know what happened with Coach Ford.
Well, it's just, and like I said, it's just sticking with it. That's the hardest part, right? It's just the hardest part is following through, and it's just like, you know, you working with the Warpath program. It's a building. It's trying to get those building stones to where, hey, there's a foundation here that will never go away as long as there's somebody in place. You know, that's what it's got to come down to. But moving on, we'll be here all night. If we keep after this, man.
No, so did you guys get to watch the fight the other night, the boxing fight between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia?
I got to run off and watch it.
Did you?
Yeah. I got the afterwards.
Afterwards. So Tank won the fight in the 7th, right?
Yep.
And he, I think he gave him a good liver shot.
They were saying that liver shot, rib shot, kidney shot. It's kind of what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, and I saw a little bit of hype on social media saying, the fight wasn't good. It was fixed or something like that, or, you know, he just went down. He could have got up, but, you know, a fighter is gonna know when there's something wrong with his body.
Yeah.
And true. I noticed that he wanted to get up, but then he chose not to. And as soon as that number 10, he counted 10, then he got up and he kind of looked at the ref like, dude, like I can't do it. I can't do it. You know. So I think that was a wise decision for him. Just to
what I found crazy about the fight was that was the support that Garcia had. There was tons of people that were supporting Garcia behind it. right? They all wanted Garcia to win. They're like, oh yeah, Garcia's got this. But at the same time, you go back and you watch the fight, like Tank kind of had control over the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know that me and her had the discussion afterwards, and it was along the lines of like, you read the little reports afterwards, and they're saying, well, he was skinny. He had to lose so much weight to get into this fight just to meet up with Tank. But it felt like that was at Tank's weight. He was a freaking little tank at that time, right? He looked huge. He looked huge compared to Garcia.
Really, yeah. And then I know a lot of people were supporting Garcia for this reason too. That Tank, even though he's a little tank and he's a tough guy and stuff, man, he's so cocky. He's so cocky, And
he comes from the money, right? He comes from Money Mayweather camp.
And you think exactly. I was just gonna say that same thing because Mayweather was the same way.
Yeah,
he was real cocky, but nobody can beat him.
I've seen a lot of Mayweather antics with Tank as well.
Yeah.
He kind of wrapped up a lot, and like he would throw a couple punches, and then he would just kind of get in and hug, and then he'd kind of slow the fight down.
I noticed in the first round. If you notice in the first round that Tank was going out and he was hugging. Mm-hmm. He was reaching out when he would get in probably arm's distance or jabbing distance. Then he would grab on, but he only did that for that first round.
Yeah.
And after that, he felt him out. I think he was checking that distance because Garcia had a longer reach. He was checking it, and he's like, okay, I can get inside that real fast.
Well, and Tank was moving around quick enough where Garcia was trying to throw his jab and whatnot, but Tank was quick enough to move around it.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking to Randy about. He was talking about he's got a long arm, wingspan. I was like, all I gotta do is duck and get in there. And he was doing that whole meet, just like ducking and like. If I was fighting, that would be me because I'm so short. That's my strategy. That's
you wouldn't even have to duck.
Shoot, ankle biter.
But see, that's what in the second, it felt like that was the setup too, right? Like the feeling him out, the going in and hugging and whatnot, and that's like what he was coming out of. Like he was going to go in for that grab around the hip or whatnot to kind of get close to him, and then that left hook came up.
Boy, it came up
clean.
It came up solid, man. And it seemed like he had a roll of quarters in his hand or something like that. 'Cause he went down hard, boy. He went down pretty hard, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, look at ladies and gentlemen, we got a shout out here on the Winnebago Big Voice Facebook page here.
Yeah, got to shout out my Aunt Jackie from Arizona. Her and her boys doing good. Let me tell you this: my brother, they went to. I know he was talking about Arizona going to state championships and combining all the top A schools.
Yeah.
They went to the championship. They took second.
Yeah.
Second state.
Out of the whole state. All fresh, almost a whole freshman team.
Really?
Yeah, he took MVP. So they got a good program. My cousins out there, Courtney and Craig, Shirley, shout out to them too for building the Monstars basketball community.
Traveling
community.
They love the Monstars.
They go all
so shout
over.
out to Auntie Jackie,
Coast,
shout
Craig,
out
Courtney.
Jackie.
Got to come out to Winnebago one of these times. Show them how to do it, guys.
It looks like Evan Decor is giving you the shout out. Tell you to answer his phone.
As soon as the show started, I can't answer the phone.
He's on the radio. He can't answer the phone. Change your own tire.
Got a shout out from Carlos too, man.
Yeah.
Excited to have you.
Carlos Trinidad Snake gives a shout out. Says thanks for the shout out. I am super excited for the opportunity to come on the podcast next week. All right, we're gonna bring Carlos home back to the Winnebago Res over here and give him a good little. He wants us, if we have questions, he wants us to send him down because he don't like being put on a spot.
All right, we got him.
We'll send him down. But I did tell him, hey, we just want you to tell listeners a little story about you. Tell us about you a little bit. Tell us how you got into it, because there might be that one kid that's listening or that will go back and listen to that and will like that so much that he'll get into that kind of stuff, and who knows.
So like my whole thing, like with the Tank and the Garcia, back to that the fight. Like, I mean, you look at the camps that put the fight together, right? You're talking about Mayweather's and you're talking about Pacquiao's, right? Those are the two big camps that put themselves together. Everybody made money on that fight. What was it, like $80 or something to get to that fight? I think is what it was. Everybody made money on that fight. So, like, we're all sitting here debating it, arguing about it. We didn't make no money.
No, I know.
we paid that money. It was a good fight, though.
And it's a good fight. I think I'm not exactly sure if a rematch will be as big because of how quick it was.
Well, what if Tank came up though in weight, right? What if he matched Garcia at his normal fighting weight?
That would be huge. Let's make that happen.
That's what those camps talk about, though, right? That's you got to fight us at our weight. You got to fight at this weight, and that's kind of the hardest part about it is, you're sitting there dealing with that. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's move on. Top 3 boxing movies. Let's get it.
Okay, top 3 boxing movies. That's Brooke. What do you think?
So, for my number 1, I went with Rocky. Started everything, kicked off all
Rocky
the stuff.
1.
Rocky 1. Yep, I was debating between all of them, and I'm like, I'm gonna say the last one was actually one of my favorite because Milo Ventimiglia is one of my favorite actors, and he played Rocky's son as an adult. But since Rocky 1 started everything off, that's gonna be my number 1.
Okay.
My number 2 was Creed.
Ooh,
Just because of
Creed.
continuation, and that started the new
It's
generation.
just Michael B. Jordan.
That
Nothing
too.
to do
Hey.
with the boxing.
I know.
Hey,
It's just
I don't
honest.
remember the storyline.
Brooke be
That was
like,
a great movie.
Brooke be like, hey, Creed
was-
1,
it was-
Creed 2, and Creed
All of them. All of him. No.
3. All of him?
All of him. I mean, them. All of the movies. No.
So which Creed? The first one?
First one.
The Ivan Drago? Oh, no, the first one was... Who did he fight in that first one?
Drago's kid, wasn't it?
No, that was the second one.
That was the second one?
I can't remember who that was. But he fought somebody in that first one, a professional boxer, and beat him. All right, so number 3.
My number 3 was, if we were including like mixed martial arts, I'd say Warrior, because that was one of my go-tos. I always watched a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
classic. The bros had to box it out.
But if not, then Real Steel is my number 3.
Real Still?
Remember that
Real
one?
Still?
Remember that one?
No.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh
And
Jackman,
then
the robots.
the robots.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Robots.
Oh.
He's a boxer. The
Yeah, there you go.
robots.
There you go. That's a good one. All right, huge.
I mean, I'm real similar to that. Like you said, boxing movies. And she forgot to mention it, but the reason why we kind of both threw Rocky at 1 was just for the fact that, like, not it was a
that's
good
right.
boxing movie, yes. But, like, Stallone literally wrote that script on the fly to get himself in a movie. Nobody was ever going to give him a shot at anything. And then to write Rocky for himself and then star in it.
Yeah.
And then create, like, there's this statue of him in Philly now and this and that. Like, I think that's just the most iconic thing
Yeah.
behind the whole Rocky series. Because then
Yeah.
it bred Creed. It bred all that spin-off stuff. I mean, you wouldn't have old Mickey if you didn't have Rocky. You know what I mean? Like,
for real. Like then, like for me, it's kind of hard to choose between the Rockies because. Well, go ahead. Get on your list.
okay.
Go ahead, go ahead. Finish your list, bro.
Number 2, I'm gonna say is Ali. I honestly thought that Will Smith did a great job portraying Ali, the smack talk, the mannerisms, the cockiness that you guys are talking about, and you know, ain't nobody ever been a good smack talker like Ali probably ever since, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he can come out, he flows, he's real eloquent. It's off the dome, or whether it's scripted or not. Like, I just love that about Ali. You know, I thought that was great, and I thought Will Smith did a good job. And Ali, one of the greatest of all time, they say. So
Yeah.
I thought that was a good movie.
Is that 2 or is that 3?
Those 2.
That was 2.
Okay.
I wrote down one of Brooks, but I'm going to change it up here, and I'm going to say Southpaw.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Jake
Southpaw.
Gyllenhaal. I thought that was a really
I
good
forgot
one.
about that one.
That was
Kind
my
of a-
top 5 too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of a rougher showing of a boxer. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Of what he had to go through to get where he needed to be. But yeah, those are my top 3.
Well, then that Southpaw movie, I remember that it literally talks about that being a left-handed fighter a lot in that
Yep.
movie. You know, so if somebody new hears that on you know as they're watching a fight Southpaw, like, what is that?
Yeah.
Well, that movie will explain that a lot. You know, not
Yeah.
just you fight with your left heart. You know.
Yeah.
So those are good ones. Here, I got my 3 right here. So my number 3 would be Hurricane. You know, I
That's a
think
good
that Denzel.
Denzel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how he had to kind of like, you know, survive in prison. And then the next one, I know it's kind of corny now, but I remember I really used to love that show, but it's called Gladiator. And not the old one with Russell Crowe, but the bare knuckle fighting one. It ended up being bare knuckle. He was a boxer. He was fighting in the underground, but
That's a good one too.
he was fighting that big old dude, that big old country dude, and he would swing at him, jab at him like that. He'd put his head down. He'd hit him right on top of the head and broke his fingers. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was anyway.
Yeah.
But then my number 1, and maybe a lot of people might agree with this, but like Brooke had Rocky 1 because it set the tone for the Rocky series.
Yeah.
But mine would be Rocky 2,
That
and
was a good one.
Rocky 2 is because you see how the dream happened.
Yeah.
You know, well in
Yeah.
Rocky 1 you've seen the dream happening from the bottom.
Yeah.
But then you get to Rocky 2 and he already kind of went through, or he's going through his little I'm gonna spend my money type thing, you know.
Yeah.
And then realizes that, you know, well, I'm not gonna retire. I'm gonna fight if my old lady lets me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then just like how it is nowadays, bro, shit, we can't do nothing until our old lady say yeah. Then as soon as Adrian said, well, go ahead then, go fight then.
Yeah.
He's like, let's
Go
go.
on
then. Yeah.
He's like, as soon as Adrian's like, go on then.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's turned it red real quick.
with those Rocky shows, you can't get away from just like the showing of how to train, what it took for him to get there, the falling down to the bottom. Like as you go through you lose Mickey, You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
man.
He kind of goes through the whole gambit of all those movies, and like that's just what made it a great boxing essentially series. Really, you know, it made it good. But like you said, yeah, you can pick your movies because I mean, Apollo Creed looked classic. You know what I mean? The fights with Apollo was classic, and then to watch him get beat up by Ivan Drago, then came and redeemed the bro. Like I mean, those are just classic. Those are just classic.
The one before that, he had to fight Mr. T.
Mr.
Remember?
T.
Mr. T was scheming around on his woman. And stuff like that's all. Man, get it, man.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy, bro. Hey, those are
classics.
Good, those are some good top 3 boxing movies and good
If y'all
discussions.
thinking about boxing movies, those are the ones. Like at the very least.
At the least,
Yeah.
good starter point there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a new one with Miles Teller that just came out last year, and we were looking at movies like I don't think we've seen
Yeah, I
this
think
one,
I've seen
so
that
we gotta
one,
see.
yeah.
I can't remember
There's
the name
actually
of it.
I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but there's actually one coming out about George Foreman.
Yep.
Oh,
Foreman.
I seen that. Yeah.
So
Just
It's all
interested to
about
know
his-
how he made the foreman and how
I know.
It's in there.
That's what I was saying
Yeah.
too. I was
They
like,
said
man,
it's in there.
he's showing all these boxing scenes. I want to see the grill.
That's right.
Where's the
I'm seeing
grill?
Infomercials.
Yeah.
All right, so since we're gonna move on from boxing movies, we're moving on into the NBA playoffs.
The NBA.
All I gotta
playoffs.
say is like I don't get a whole lot of time during the evenings to like watch all the games, but I do watch all them highlights on YouTube, and I'm gonna tell you what, Jimmy Butler went crazy,
Oh my gosh.
and Trey Young is ice cold. Holy
Oh, man.
crap, guys! Like
You know,
if
the-
you guys didn't see those, you
the
go
last
check them out.
the last couple nights have been like stay up late type stuff, you know. And just I watched the second half of the Heat game,
Yeah.
and so I didn't get to see the first half and all
Oh,
the
the second
stuff he
half's
did
really-
in the first.
yeah,
half.
but I mean, the second half was-
so that next morning I had to get back on YouTube and watch that first half because I didn't want to just watch highlights. I wanted
Yeah.
to see how he got hot, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. But did that win with Jimmy Buckets getting to 56? Did that like maybe persuade you that the Bucks aren't going to make it?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say we'll just start there, right? We'll just
Let's
start in
go.
the East because that's who the first one I'm looking at right here is the 1-8 seed, Bucks and Heat. Bucks are down 3-1,
Yeah.
defending champs. And I said this after Bagel won their state championships. The Bucks got full. They got complacent. You know, I understand Giannis not being fully healthy and whatnot, but I mean, Middleton was killing last year, right? He was like their main guy. Brooks kind of went crazy for him, and it still wasn't enough. I mean, Jimmy Buckets and all the supporting cast. I mean, Bam Adebayo, right? That's their center for the Heat. What's the other kid's name? Tyler Hero. He's playing nuts. I honestly put a fork in them. They're done. Bucks are done.
Bucks are done. I was thinking that too, and then the guys on ESPN they talk about, well, there's being down 3-1, 95% of the teams get knocked out if they're down 3-1. Well, there's always that 5%, and I think like in this playoffs this year, I think that if there was a time for that 5% to come back, I think this would be the series. But I'm just saying that if there was any series out of these ones that are playing now, because there's some other 3-1s that they're definitely going to get beat out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
All right. I agree with you there. Yeah.
But Jimmy Butler, he's a good.
They say that might be Jordan's kid.
I know.
You ever hear those theories?
You shave that hair off, man. He might, So
All right, so moving on down the list here. Then you got the winner of that's going to meet the winner of Cavs Knicks. To me, that's a wash series. Neither one of them guys are going to make it into the third round here. They're going to get to the second round. And
Hey! Look at my hat.
I'm just saying.
Trying to show you I'm not a bandwagon guy.
I'm looking at the Knicks there, and the Cavs. Like I mean, they've had mediocre seasons all year. I like Spida from there, right? And what's the guy's name for the Knicks then that's been killing for him?
Oh man,
Randall.
Brunson. Oh, Randall.
Randall? You got Brunson's been killing?
The point guards got him to the playoffs.
Okay,
Man.
okay.
He's tough, but Julius Randle, the guy's saying he's shooting too much right now
Yeah.
in the playoffs. But
I mean, you guys want to argue with us? Throw it in the chat,
Yeah,
man.
man.
We would love to hear it.
Jalen Brunson, he got traded in the offseason from Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
And he's been on a tear, man. Okay, so the Knicks. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the
Go
Knicks
ahead.
real fast. So the Knicks they've had 14 different starting point guards in the last 13 years.
Yeah.
14 different starting point guards in the last 13 years.
Wow.
So every year they had a
Somebody
different point
new.
guard. But I think they locked in Brunson, and
All right.
he's going to be
Okay.
good for the Knicks. That's what they needed.
I'll watch this Knicks game since it's 3-1, but I'm pretty sure Knicks are taking it.
Yeah.
Cavs are done. So
Stick a fork in him.
Sixers took out the Nets. I know Brooke has a nice opinion about the Nets that she'd like to share, even though they lost. Who did they grab that was your favorites from Phoenix? Remember after the trade?
Oh,
man.
yeah.
After the trade.
Mikal, man, he did amazing. As soon as it sucks that we lost him for Suns. If you guys don't know, I'm a born and bred Phoenix Suns fan.
Yeah.
You know, I bleed purple and orange, but
Bridges and Johnson, man.
Yeah,
Those
Yeah,
were
Bridges.
tough.
they did.
Bridges, that tough guy, man.
But I mean, Phoenix has a good cast themselves, so it's kind of hard to let them shine. But without that supporting the teammates that they had on the
Like
Suns,
if Brooke had a second team, it's the Nets, just because who's their head coach?
it was.
Oh, yeah,
Jason
right,
Kidd,
he
he's not
left.
on there anymore. Yeah,
No, Nash. Isn't Nash
I mean,
still
Nash.
coaching them?
No,
No.
he's not coaching them either.
Jock Vaughn.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Jock Vaughn used to play ball. He used to be a point guard down in KU.
But aside of the Nets, Sixers look nice.
Yeah, Sixers
Look nice. I mean, they got a great staff. I really think that their little big threes probably they're gonna make it to the conference finals. They're gonna be there.
Okay,
Whether they get
okay.
the championship or not, that's
Yeah.
debate. That's to debate, because then look who's waiting for them. They're sitting there in the second round already. And now you got Celtics Hawks.
Yeah.
I think Celtics got them.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to get through this one. I think those two games that the Hawks won, they weren't lucky. Trae Young's been going off, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, but he only got hot the last two games. The first few games, he was kind of shut down a little bit,
Did you see the game winner the kid hit?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, and he almost put up a 40-piece.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Man.
All right, so that's out of
Yeah,
the East.
Trae
All
Young.
I
right,
have to
that's
go
out of
for
the
Celtics.
East.
If I don't, Suze will
Yeah,
kill me at work.
They'll get through the Hawks. I'm pretty sure they will, unless like I said, Trae Young goes crazy. And then top of the West here, Nuggets already advanced past the Timberwolves 4-1. Finito. Don't think Timberwolves really had anybody that was going to fight back against that Carton crew. Suns just pushed out the Clippers. Clippers got the first game on them, but I read something really well that said that if you go back and watch the first game, which nobody ever will because it's already over and done with, it's in the past. But Booker wasn't trying to get a shot. He kept trying to get KD the ball. He tried to pass it a lot more. And then after that, the next 4 games, Booker went to go get his, and they won 4 in a row.
Yeah. Dev
What,
Booker.
40-point games now?
Yeah, Dev Booker, he just got to remember that's his squad, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though you get KD, they say that he's one of the best offensive players in history, but hey,
Booker's pretty good.
If you already got a Devin Booker on your team, I mean, don't lower your shots totals, keep on shooting the ball, but at least instead of like, the other people that he can pass to, look who he's got to pass to now. Yeah. He's got KD to bail out, anytime.
All right, so then we can go on the Suns in the next round that we're talking about here, but we're going to go to Kings and Warriors tied 2-2.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one, man. Kings and Warriors. My boy
Did you ever
Raheem.
think you'd say that again? Kings and Warriors?
Dude, for real. I mean, okay, so Raheem, he's not a big Warriors fan, but he said he thinks the Warriors are going to repeat this year.
Okay.
So anyway, so when they went down, in the series, I was like, oh, son,
Yeah.
But then it looks like they're kind of trying to fight back here a little bit. The series is tied 2-2. It's kind of a coin toss right now.
I would say it's probably going to be a 7-game series, and it's probably the only first round games that might go 7 games unless the Hawks pull off another one.
Yeah.
It might be the only one that goes 7 games. But in that one, I mean, I really want the Kings to win. I'm just not a huge Warriors fan myself.
I'm a Warriors fan.
Yeah,
Ooh,
her sister lives out there.
Yeah,
right?
so
Well, myself, I mean,
Mandated Warriors fans.
I do like the Warriors because they play res ball.
Yeah, sure.
But then I saw the Kings play and how they play this year, and they kind of play res ball too,
Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of young guys playing for that team,
Yeah.
And it just seems it seems like the Kings are a younger version of these Warriors.
It could be. It could be. And with Draymond going crazy the way he is, I mean, he's just being an idiot for their team right now. You know what I mean? Honestly. But
costing them all kinds.
yeah, he's just causing all kinds of problems. But anyway, every race team's got one, right?
Yeah, look, there's Draymond right there.
That one guy. Yeah, you gotta have that one guy. All right, so who you guys pick them? Who you guys got? Kings or Warriors?
I got the Kings, man. I got the Kings.
I'm going Warriors.
I'm going
okay.
Kings on that one.
Really
Okay.
quick, what's your opinion on the step?
Oh,
Or
the
the-
step.
Oh no, he stomped that guy,
I
and he
don't
meant it
think
on
he did.
purpose. I think he meant it on purpose to jump on him.
I
Sure,
think-
he blamed the foot grab, but
Yeah.
I think he stomped him.
I don't know.
Because you know what, if you're in a position like that, I mean, if somebody grabs your foot, you're kind of like, hey, what are you doing? But most people, if you know that if you step down,
Yeah.
you could get called for something.
Yeah,
Then just fall down or something like that. Let them
Yeah.
call the fall on him. Something like
for
that.
grabbing the ankle or whatnot. Yeah.
But
That's
then
a big
that
fall,
stomp though,
though. For how
that
tall
stomp
is he?
though,
Stomped him.
That stomp though, man, he stomped him.
He stomped him.
Yeah.
All right, last series in the West here, 2 versus 7, Grizzlies and Lakers. You're saying Grizzlies? They just went down 3-1. He's old man
Lakers.
LeBron. He's that
Not
guy.
Lakers.
He's him. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Nah, I don't
20
know.
and 20?
I'm gonna have to say this though, and I wish Manny was here, but yeah, LeBron's going to the second round, y'all.
Yeah.
LeBron's gonna go to the second round.
Yeah.
And but in that second round, either he's gonna have to go up against the Warriors or the Kings, man. I think that's where it stops for LA this year.
All right, so we're moving on to the second round. We already know Lakers
Yes.
are taking this first one then, right?
I still have hope Grizzlies.
Well, you
They
know
got
what?
this.
We'll go ahead and continue on the second round
Yeah.
after this first round's done out there for the viewers. Okay.
All right, well, we just finished first round. So
All
that's what I'm
right.
saying. Like, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up now because second round, Lakers are going to make it, and I'm saying Kings are going to make it. And for me, in my opinion, with the Lakers, whether it's the Kings or the Warriors, Lakers are moving on. Who's
Really?
stopping LeBron? I've been saying this forever. He's how old now?
Yeah.
42? 40? There's no 40, 41? He's 40, right?
He's 38.
38? Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, he's 38 years old. Let's just call him 45. All right, let's just say that.
It's gone 45 because he's been in the league forever.
All I'm
now.
saying is who's stopping him? I mean,
Well, I mean,
look
you're
at
gonna-
what he's doing.
They're playing 8 versus 5 every single time they play him. So I'm just
He
saying.
believes in superstar calls. If you guys didn't
Oh,
know
gosh.
this,
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Every time.
yeah, it exists though.
Who
Did you guys
started the
did you guys ever
flag?
watch the documentary on Netflix? The Donahue guy.
Oh
With
yeah.
the fixing and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
real. Like the superstars really get those calls, and
Yeah.
they don't call fouls on them. They call fouls for them. That's
Yep.
that's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. You guys think if it's Lakers and let's just say who we picked, all right? I'm saying Lakers, Kings. Lakers are moving on.
If I say Lakers, Kings, I'll say Kings moving on.
All right.
Warriors.
Warriors moving on.
Warriors moving on. Okay.
All right.
All right. This is gonna be a good one, folks. I really want to know some opinions, man. This is tough for me because as much as I like the Suns, I know how dangerous the Nuggets are. They're probably the best team in the league right now.
Getting to that right now. Well, actually, they are the best team in the league because the team that has the best record in the league for the regular season is the Bucks, and the Bucks can go out.
Yep.
So, man, we got to watch the Nuggets play this year too when we went to the All West tournament. But the Joker wasn't playing, so we didn't get to see him at full.
yeah.
But they have been consistently the first or second best team in the Western Conference for the past 4 or 5 years. But they never get out of the second round at all. So what we need to see is that man right there, Jamal Murray. We need him to start stepping up and just hitting all these shots. And the Joker does it. The Joker's gonna give you 30, 20, and 10 every night.
Yeah.
You know, so
Ma, what do you think? Like, I mean,
I know it's
I
tough
have
though.
faith in my Suns.
I do
Yeah.
too. I do
always.
too.
They just need. Last year they choked in the series, the finals. Or was it last year? The year
It was,
before.
it was the year before.
And they just stopped playing like a team. If they keep into playing like a team like they have been, and Booker keeps doing what he's doing, then they'll be straight. They'll be fine.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
got to
gonna,
stay on playing defense.
I'm gonna have to go with Brooke on this one and go with Phoenix for this series here.
This series right here.
Yeah.
My thing is, who's going to play defense? I think Denver can play defense. I think Phoenix just wants to outscore people, and you'll see them like with the Clippers. Like Clippers just made a lot of mistakes. You know, Denver is a polished team. They're not going to come in and make mistakes. So then, to me, it's going to come down to defensive stops because I think the scoring is going to be there on both ends. I think there's too much talent scoring wise on this floor. That's going to happen. The Denver Phoenix series. It's going to be the one to watch here in the second round. To be
She is
honest,
gonna
but I
be-
got Suns moving on.
That could possibly be another 7-game series right
It
there.
could be
I think, yeah.
very well. Could
Yeah.
be.
Really quick shout out to Al McCoy, our favorite
Oh,
sportscast
man.
announcer. His birthday was yesterday.
Oh.
so-
You know who Al McCoy is?
Nope.
Al
Oh,
McCoy
man.
is the perennial radio announcer for the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, there you go.
Shazam! That was his
Why
Okay.
did
point
send
goal.
$50 Phoenix Suns
That
cheer?
was so
There
like
you
Since I was born,
Yeah.
he was doing their
like
sportscasting,
we
so-
would head down and like be watching, but like it's on the TV. Like when you watch local Phoenix games, Al McCoy's radio broadcast is on the TV. When they do their local
Yeah.
games, so like
Yeah.
when we watch the games at father-in-law's house and stuff, it was always just Al McCoy all day long.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff,
Or if
man.
it wasn't on TV, we'd turn the sound off
Yeah,
of the TV
and
and
play
turn
on
up
the
the radio.
radio. Yeah.
Birthday shout out. Happy birthday.
All right. Sixers moved on already. They're either getting the Celtics or the Hawks. I'm going to say they're going to get the Celtics, and we're going to see a 7-game series. But I really feel like the Sixers are going to get them.
Ooh, the
That's
Sixers.
me, y'all.
Yeah, the Sixers. In order to get there, they always end up having to play Boston to get over the hump. And
Every time.
the last 2 or 3 meetings and stuff like that, the Celtics sent them packing. And usually Embiid got hurt during the series though, and that made a big difference. And hopefully he can stay healthy this time. And I believe that Embiid might even get the MVP this year. He might. What do you think?
It's going to go to Jokic.
Oh, you think so?
Embiid sat out too many games.
Yeah, you're right. And then
he only played like 3/4 of the season.
They were trying to say, okay, well, tonight is the night where, where he needs Embiid needs to step up.
Remember, it was the MVP battle. They were playing each other.
To seal the deal. Yeah, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't seal no deal. So anyway, but yeah, I think that the Celtics are probably going to come out of that one.
Okay, Celtics. Who do you got? Who's moving on? And then they're going to play the Sixers. Then who do you got?
I'm going to say Sixers.
Okay.
Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little faith in the little Mamba, JT, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so second round up on the top. We know Heat's probably going to move on unless the Bucks bring out the miracle. Probably going to play the Knicks. I'm going to go with Heat in that one.
I do too. I agree with you on that one. I don't think Jimmy Buckets is going to let them come back from that. And if they end up having to play the Knicks or the Cavs, Jimmy Buckets is probably going to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I'm just totally gonna go with the Knicks on that one.
Okay.
All right.
So with that, your next question you got on here is who we got in the finals, right? Who's coming out of the East? Who's coming out of the West? And I'm gonna say for me, the matchup I want to see, it's gonna be Phoenix and the Sixers. I think that's who's gonna get there because I think the Sixers are too good in the East. I mean, the Celtics are solid. We know this. That we know they're solid. But I really feel like the Sixers are all in place in the right time. They're clicking. I feel like it's going to be the Sixers and Phoenix because Phoenix brought KD in for a reason. Let's go win a championship, and that's what they're trying to do this year. I think they can get it done.
Okay, so Phoenix and
Sixers.
Okay, who's?
That's who I was thinking too. Same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to go out here a little bit, and this is who I would like to see in there. Obviously, would be my squad, the Boston Celtics, and I would like them to play the Warriors. I really would, and the only reason why is the same reason why I said the Sixers got to get over and they got to beat Boston in order to get over the hump. Well, last year the Celtics had a chance, but they got too comfortable when they got to the finals against the Warriors, and the Warriors put it to them. So I want them to be able to beat them, and the only way they're gonna end up playing Steph Curry and them is in the championship game. So
but I think for the conference finals, what you're going to see is you're going to see Phoenix and the Lakers. It's going to be a classic matchup back even when that Phoenix and Kobe used to battle it out. I think it's going to be a classic matchup. I don't know. That's just what I would like to see. When you're talking about like potentials, that's what I'd like to see.
I said that's who I would like to see, but in reality, I don't see the Warriors making it that far. So I would like to see KD out there with his bros from Phoenix and getting out there and battle for a championship. And we'll talk about the NBA Finals down the road, those are my two anyway. So, all right, next topic is top 3 basketball movies. Top 3 basketball movies. And on this one, I think I'll go first. Brooke went first last time. So, my top 3 basketball movies, we're going to start with number 3. And number 3 for me is a movie that I could probably watch over and over, and especially the beginning of it. Is White Man Can't Jump.
Knew it.
White Man Can't Jump. That is like the funniest. I mean, it's funniest. It's old school, and it's like one of the all time greats.
Did I not say that was going to be in his top 3?
I think we already called your top 3.
Okay.
Oh man.
Let's see if we get it right.
All right. So then my second one would be the what I have. Oh, I wrote down the second one, and this one was for Manny. Space Jam.
Yep.
The first one, not the second one, the first one. And then my number 1 basketball movie is Coach Carter. Because the basketball movie is actually about a coach.
Correct.
And he's a ball-headed coach, that teaches about defense and running. So I got to go with that.
All right. I like it.
Just a little on that one.
Go for it.
All right, Brooke.
Oh man. You might have to come back to me because I'm trying to think of all the ones I had on my list.
All right, huge has it.
All right, I know. So I wrote them down, but going off of Q's list, I mean, I'm going to go kind of similar to what he had to say, but number 3 for me was probably He Got Game.
Oh, yeah.
I really like He Got Game. My Hannah has the shoes. Yeah. We found him at Shields on the deal, and I always tell him, He Got Games, man. He all knows about shoes now, but That to me, it's a classic. Jesus Shuttleworth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't beat it. It's just a Spike Lee joint.
Ray Allen,
you know,
Ray Allen was a hooper. I mean,
Yeah.
he was hooping during that
Yeah.
time too when he made that movie.
with the Bucks.
Yeah, that was
It
awesome,
the
man.
Bucks at that time. But yeah, that's a great movie. I really like that movie.
That's when he was a dunker.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't really that
Yeah.
3-point shooter just yet.
And then for my number 2, I'm going to go ahead and go with Coach Carter.
Oh.
Just because I'm very, like you said, it's a coach movie, right?
Yeah.
It's something you kind of drove from. You love the one-liners. Me and Brooke have the one-liners from
Yeah.
that all day long.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I tied that shoe.
I
I tied that
tied
shoe when your play works. You know, you're kind of walking around. You get the
Yeah.
swag from it, you know. And then you even had like the troubled kid you had to work with. You know what I mean? And we see that all the time. So
All
to
the
me, it's a
time.
great movie. You know, Samuel L. Jackson, classic performance, all that.
Yeah.
But my number 1 movie I grew up watching, VHS tape. We had it at home, bored watching Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. Oh, man, you
Old
brought
school.
that back.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it.
You
She
brought
sees
it
me. I turn
back.
Hoosiers on every now and again just to watch it. And if you go watch Hoosiers, it's a very old movie.
Yeah.
It's a very old movie. There's no cell phones.
No.
They're literally driving like 80s cars, or even 70s, really.
There's
you know.
there's no what do you call it? The coach's
Whiteboard.
board.
Yeah,
Coach's
yeah.
board. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Pencil.
He
Yeah.
he carries that paper around with him
Yep.
all the time.
I mean, I kind of went off top. I mean, my honorable. I got to give you a couple honorable mentions for me though. It's
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget about Texas Christian. The one that we just I see that
Glory-
last week.
Glory
Glory
Road.
Road. Glory Road's one of my favorites. I like rewatching that movie as well. And then I mean, I don't know. Did you guys consider Friday Night Lights a coach movie?
Friday Night
no,
Lights?
that's football. Huh?
That's football.
I'm getting to that
And
one.
we're
I got
getting
away.
there.
I got
And
away
we're
from
getting
it.
there.
But yeah, I'll leave that as my honorable mentions. Glory Road. So
Okay. I don't. I'll throw this out as my honorable mention, and I don't even know if you guys were even around during this time. But there's a basketball movie, and ladies and gentlemen, if you heard of this one, put it in the comments. There's a basketball movie. It's called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. You ever hear of it?
no, I have to watch that one.
The star in that movie is Julius the Dr. Irving.
Oh, okay, very cool.
And so it's a really old movie. It's I think back from like when he went the transition from the ABA to the NBA.
Yeah.
But man, it's a real good movie. It
Okay.
kind of reminds me of oh my goodness, like the bench warmers or something like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the basketball
Yeah.
version, you know. So
All right, let's hear it. What do you got?
Just because it brought female basketball up a little bit, I'm about to go with number 3, Love and Basketball.
oh, there you go.
Classic.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a good one. Man, there were so many. Coach Carter's up there too, like
Yeah.
probably number 2 as well. And my number 1, my go-to, actually Coach Carter probably number 1 because that's usually, like you said, you watch that all the time and
Yeah.
everything. So number 2, man, there's just so many out there that we was just struggling to figure out. I think I probably have to go with you and go with Glory Road.
Glory Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's great. And then, like I said, honorable mentions. Rebound. Was,
Oh, yeah,
my God.
yeah. With Martin
I was like,
Lawrence.
Yep,
Let's
yeah,
go.
the
That's
icy
a
out. I
good
always
one.
told my girls that. I was like, hey, put your hands up, put some icy out in your armpits. And Basketball Diaries. You know,
Basketball
that's
Diaries.
classic one,
Oh,
yeah.
good ones, man.
Yeah, and then then a couple of native ones. That Edge of America, talking about the
Chin Lee boys.
that one is the, I think, Tuba City Girls or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, like almost like an 80s or 90s vibe. And then Basketball or Nothing, that follows the Chinley Wildcat boys in their 2018-2019 season, I think, going to championship. That was pretty cool. That one's on Netflix. So
Yeah, we got a
y'all
comment
check
on
that
the
out.
stream there. Sixth Man, that's a great one. The Wayans Bros,
The Wayans
right?
Bros, yeah.
And then how can you forget Blue Chips, man?
Yeah, Blue Chips. That
How
was
can you
when
forget Blue
Shaq
Chips?
and Penny.
Juwanna
Let's
Man.
go.
Oh, Semi-Pro.
Juwanna Man. Did you hear
Oh.
her?
Semi-pro.
Did you hear her? Juwanna Man. You remember that one?
Yeah. Hey, semi-pro.
Semi-pro,
Juwanna Man.
Corn dogs, Jackie.
Hey,
corn
corn
dogs.
Like Mike.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
one.
we
Yeah,
brought that
that's
up.
another
Like
one.
Mike.
Airbud. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody.
Jeez. I mean, she kept saying that last night too. Airbud, yeah.
Oh, I know. You know,
Yeah,
we
there's
we,
so
we
many.
probably can go on and on. You know,
Yeah.
but hey, man, that was actually a good topic. I now I'm probably gonna have to go back and watch some of those movies.
Yeah.
The ones I haven't seen for a long time, so I have to go check that out.
We were talking about what about clips from movies that are basketball clips?
All right.
Like the number 1,
Along Came
Along
Polly.
Came Polly.
You remember the basketball
yeah,
clip?
yeah.
He's white chocolate. He's like, come on, man.
Raindrop.
Yeah, raindrop.
Did you guys see the old movie Soul Man?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember the kid took those tan pills and turned his skin dark. He got a scholarship to this black school, and they got to the gym, and they're like, or not a black school, but an Ivy League college, and all those white boys are like, hey, we get him, we get him, we get him, we get him. And so he's like, hey, I'm not that good, guys. No, we get him, we get him. And then he got out there, and he just.
Or what about the basketball scene from the cable guy?
Yep, the cable guy. That's our warm up.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a great one. Like, come on. Like I said, it wasn't even meant to be a basketball movie at all, but it's like a basketball memory out of a movie that you'll like. That ranks up there with everybody's.
Yeah.
The comedy ones are great.
Oh man, hey, good discussion on those basketball movies. We're gonna have to come back to that one again, maybe later on in the summer, or even basketball season.
Yeah, let's say come out of summer. Yeah, come out of summer right after basketball, after football gets over.
All right, guys. So our next topic, and we'll just spend just a little time of discussion on this because they talk about this every day on the news, and they've been actually leading up to this NFL news with Aaron Rodgers for the last 6 months on ESPN. So Aaron Rodgers asked his team for a trade. He demanded a trade. Didn't want to be there no more. And the Packers, I mean, I think they ended up a couple years ago actually drafting a quarterback, and then made Aaron Rodgers feel some kind of way, like, oh, what am I here for then? So anyway, 2-3 years later, he finally says, okay, I'm done with this. And he gets traded out to the New York Jets. What do you think of that move there, Huge?
All right. Seeing the meme today, it's literally the exact same path that Brett Favre went on. They're talking about numbers of years played for the Packers, championships, MVPs, like the team that he lost to. It's such a crazy coincidence thing. It's almost like they live on Ho Chung land, it's bad Indian land or something, bad luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the Packers, but I just he's an old guy now. I mean, I think he's just padding stats at this point. I don't think he's got that competitive edge that he's trying to go out there and win a championship every single year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably just looking for his paydays. And a buddy of mine's a real big Packer fan, which is Tony Bassett. And I give him crap all the time over Rodgers, but I guess he's at the point where he's like, I don't care. We got a new quarterback, this and that. But I mean, honestly, it's the same old song. You know, it literally Brett Favre all over again.
So do you remember when Brett Favre got traded off and he ended up playing for the Vikings? Do you remember those next 2 years though?
Yeah.
Oh man, he, like you said, not just racking up the stats, but I think they got to the Super Bowl or they got to the game before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they managed that conference final game. Yeah,
so
the AFC Championship.
So he did step up.
NFC,
and man, I think he even like broke some of his own records during that time. Do you see something like that happening with Aaron Rodgers doing?
I mean, I think he's chasing. He's chasing. Not necessarily. He's never gonna. Nobody's gonna chase Tom Brady's championships, but I think he's just chasing stats at this point. You know what I mean? I think. Honestly, think about it. Are the Jets that good that putting Rodgers there is going to make them so much better? Their best players on the defensive back, the Sauce Gardner.
Well, maybe him actually officially being there now can maybe start to fire for some new trades, get some new wide receivers over there. Or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but you look at I always say, like, you know, you value the trade value, and I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a Broncos fan myself too, but it's not like the trade value. The Broncos gave up the house for Russell Wilson, and then he came out and laid an egg.
Yeah.
You know, that first season. It's like, if you're the Jets, you got Aaron Rodgers on a steal. And if for the Packers, like, you really didn't get nothing for him.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at it from both sides. But,
yeah.
I mean, to me, the winner in that's the Jets, because you didn't have to give up too much to get him.
Yeah, that's good. And then they can't get any worse. You know, they can just get better. They can just get better.
But who was their quarterback before that? Because then they just draft some kid that was really highly touted. And, I mean, they took him in the first round, and he's been playing Wilson. He's been playing 2 years for them, and he just has not panned out for what they want.
Yeah.
You know, it almost sounds like freaking Nebraska at this point,
If that Wilson guy's still out there, and they got a veteran like, you know, Rodgers coming in, and maybe that's what they're trying to do too, is maybe mold that guy in for the 2 or 3 years they have Aaron Rodgers to be a franchise guy or something.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, who does that all the time? You say that all the time. The Suns is the MO for that, right? They go out there and get the old guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why they got KD, and now we're worried, like, oh my gosh, he's old, he's gonna get hurt, and then it never fails. We did that with Shaq. We did that with I can't remember, back when I was like 13 or something. You know, we did the same thing. That's our MO.
They had Barkley, the best player in the NBA at that point, next to Jordan or whatnot, and then they just traded him off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right after they made the
Right
finals.
there.
They
And then
made
they
the
make
finals,
some
and then they got
dumb
whooped up by
moves.
Jordan. That's why she don't like Jordan.
I remember that. No, I remember that. Hey, you just now mentioned some Shaq down in Phoenix. Me and TJ Smith, rest his soul, were actually at the first Phoenix Suns versus San Antonio Spurs game in Phoenix. We were on training when Shaq first had his first game there.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. He
The great Shaq this.
Yeah, he had the Shaq this.
I was there too.
Yeah. But yeah, so moving on to the next person, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. He gets signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Do you think that is going to help the Ravens out?
Odell's, again, old man. I really don't think he's such a huge impact player anymore. He'll give you some catches. I play a lot of fantasy, by the way. We could literally go in on fantasy if y'all want to. But, like, I'm not super involved with it. But, like, I know enough that I'm pretty decent at the game. But for me, Odell, like, he can't stay healthy, first off. He'll get you catches, but he's never going to be another 100 reception guy with 10-plus touchdowns. That's not Odell anymore.
Yeah.
You know, if he does, very cool. 1,000-yard receiver, 10-plus touchdowns, da-da-da-da-da. He's just not that dude. You know, he's probably going to get you maybe 3 or 4 catches a game. He might have a breakout game when he gets 8 to 12. You know, maybe get 150 yards, but I just don't see him getting a 200-yard guy anymore, like a Jefferson. Or you know, he's not a young talent anymore.
Yeah, I see that this didn't they just now re-sign the quarterback too?
No, they openly franchise tagged him, so he can still, I believe, seek a trade, but our compensation for like the free agency part, like if somebody wanted to sign him.
Yeah. But
he is franchise tagged. But if it gets met, the Ravens can match type of attitude.
Yeah.
Whatever he gets to. So you know he's not happy there. I don't see it being make or break year for the Ravens, and they're going to go out and try to chase championship. I don't know. I don't see it out of the Ravens.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times when somebody else wants out, but they try to sweeten the deal and put some maybe like a Odell on your team to kind of make you like, hey, maybe I should stay or something like that.
Did he? But the majority of the season last year, he sat on the free agency. Sat in free agency almost the whole year. Then the Rams grabbed him that one year. Yeah, because he tore his ACL during the championship game, right? In the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and even in that year, he sat in free agency almost the whole year. Then they signed him at the very end. So it's like he's too much of a liability. It's like a C, a D C grade for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just don't see it.
I think the same way. Like you get a player or athlete come in that's got knee issues, ankle issues, something like that. Especially if they're like ACL, MCLs, and stuff like that. I mean, those are hard injuries to come back from. I mean, nobody really comes back, 100%.
True.
You see some athletes come out like Kobe Bryant come out from a knee injury
Achilles or
and an Achilles injury, to go through physical therapy, do everything, go above and beyond to get yourself back to nearly as possible. It didn't seem like those injuries slowed him down towards the end of his career, maybe, but you look at football though.
I know, but you think about like if they're going to try to force their way through that, like you look at running backs. I mean, Dallas getting rid of their running back Elliott. Like you're thinking, what, right? Because Elliott was their guy, but then look at what the new kid came in and did. He just outran him every step of the way. Running backs have an expiration date. That's why you ever notice running backs never get those humongous contracts because running backs only have about a 3-4 year shelf life to be super dominant.
Yeah, and if you're like a superstar, you might last about 10 years in there. But other than that, running backs they come and go.
And receivers, I feel like they can stick around a lot longer. But look at like with Megatron. Megatron probably would have broke every record out there, but he decided to call it quits early just because of all the little injuries. All right, let's move on here. We're running out of time.
All right, so
I got baseball practice to get to.
Oh yeah, so we're just gonna touch it really fast on the Nebraska Cornhuskers spring game this past Saturday went down, and a number of our youth from the community went down as well. The academy program from the public school went. I think it was the junior high and possibly the high school.
Yeah, some of the high school kids.
Some of the high school made it who wasn't busy. Then they all made it down to the red and white game, and it was a pretty decent game. I believe, just like some of the comments that I heard from the game, that it was kind of boring in the second half. But as for the game itself, the kids were real happy to be down there in Memorial Stadium again to check out the Huskers. They got a chance to see some new talent. Apparently the the current starting quarterback. His name is what's his name? The starting quarterback for the Huskers. His name is. But anyway, what I was trying to say is he's injured. He's injured, and so they had this new guy come in. His name is Jeff Sims, and I guess he was doing pretty good. He completed 8 out of 10 passes for almost 140 yards, and the running back Gabe Irvin Jr. Showed off a little bit, scoring a couple short touchdowns. Then some other running backs, Ramir Johnson, Anthony Grant. These are some of the names, guys, that we're going to be seeing next year.
I think it was number 22. Oh, yeah, Thompson, Indian boy Thompson, Casey Thompson.
Yeah, Casey
that's what you're talking
Thompson.
about.
Casey Thompson is the starting
The one
quarterback
highlight
that's
I
injured.
watched, I believe it was, it might have been Irving Jr. I had to look up his number again to make sure, but I literally watched a run. I was sitting here with OC eating breakfast. We were eating brunch at my sister's place, and I got to watch a couple of the runs. And I mean, I watched a defensive back, like a dime back guy, come downhill at him, bounce right off him, and the guy went in and scored that touchdown off to the left side right there. I mean, that was a great. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Rule's bringing to the table, but I don't expect us to go win a whole bunch of ball games this first year unless everybody buys in. Everybody was singing Scott Frost praises because of what he did down at UFC or UCF.
Yeah.
But it's getting the kids to buy into your programming, and just like if you're going to ask them to run through the brick wall, they're going to tell you how fast you want me to do that. That kind of attitude, right?
Yeah.
They got to buy in, and if they're not buying into your schemes and like what you're trying to accomplish on the football field every single game, you're not going to win very many. And then you're talking about Casey Thompson having to learn a new offense, do different reads, different calls, like all the offensive linemen. I feel like that's always been our biggest struggle is offensive line. Spring games are kind of for me.
Yeah.
I'm not super excited to be at them. I mean, it's fun.
They're fun.
They're
Yeah, for the
fun.
kids.
They're fun to go to
Yeah.
and everything. But really, all you're doing is eyeballing your second, third, fourth, fifth string guys. You're just trying to round out the roster right there. Like I said, they packed the stadium. How many did you say were there? Over 66,000.
This time?
Yeah, I think you had it written down here.
Oh, I don't know.
For a packed house. It was a packed house.
Well,
yeah, right there. In front of 66,000 fans.
In front of 66,000 fans at Memorial Stadium. It was pretty good. Hey, just since we're talking about those spring games, you remember seeing that little post about the Colorado spring games compared to last year?
They only sold maybe I had 5,000 tickets or something, and then they
That
sold
first
their
year?
stadium out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the other day, they completely sold out
Should be interesting to see how the season
the
goes.
Buffalo Stadium.
I think we should have got Dion. I think we should have got Dion myself.
We
We should have
should've.
paid him. We should have paid him.
We should have.
It would have been nothing but hype, whether we did good or not. It was nothing but hype.
The athletic department would have been making some money.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So it's going to go ahead and push us on into our last topic, you guys. And the last topic we got today is your top 3 football movies. Top 3 football movies. We all been, as athletes, as coaches, we watch a lot of sports movies. There are probably more football movies than there are any other sport movies. So we are going with our top 3 football movies. And let's all do 3
All right.
with our third, and then we'll all do our second, then we'll all do our first. So our top 3 football movies. My third is Any Given Sunday.
All right.
Any Given Sunday.
Friday Night Lights for me.
Friday Night Lights.
Little Giants.
Little Giants. Let's go.
You guys give away my secret there. If you guys notice when I do my touchdown call, that's where I got it from.
The
Those little
annexation of
Giants.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, the little annexation of Puerto Rico. My little touchdown call I make, that literally came from that guy on Little Giants. That's how much I used to watch it, because that's how much I used to watch that movie. Good call.
No, that's a good
one.
that is a real good one. That is a good one. So
Yeah.
I'm a piggyback off of me and Bethany was sitting here talking about this one earlier, and she said this one, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that one. And if she was on here, I'm gonna say this one for Bethany, but the one is the Gridiron Gang is for my second.
Yeah, it's classic.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gridiron Gang.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans?
That's going to be number 2 for me.
Number 2?
I'm going to go with Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about your number 1 football movie? The number 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
give us
dun,
some
dun,
quiz
dun,
music.
dun.
I mean, those 6 right there could be anybody's number ones.
For real.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, out of those 6, you could literally throw them out there as number ones and whatnot, but you got one?
I'll throw out radio because you already mentioned Remember the Titans. Someone put
Okay.
radio up there.
Okay.
There you go.
Like, just straight football, all this. I'm going to go, Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues.
No, I changed my mind. Yep, Varsity
Whatever.
Blues.
Varsity
no, I
Weekend?
got it. I
Can't take
can't.
mine. I claim that.
Hey, you guys break it up here. Break it up. Oh, hey, that's a good one. The Varsity Blues is a good
Yeah.
one, man. Especially being a young adult seeing that movie, it was pretty crazy, you know. They kind of, Varsity Blues kind of reminded me of football around here back
Yeah.
in the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
So it was,
There's a lot of
that was a good one.
quotable
Yeah.
quotes from
yeah.
there, but we can't say it on the radio. So.
Yeah.
Well, my number one football movie, and I thought about this a lot because I was thinking, which football movie like would I just like turn on and watch all the time, you know, and not skip past it? And it would be the Disney movie with Marky Mark, and that's Invincible.
That's a good one.
Oh, man,
Invincible.
That's a good one, too.
That's a good one.
You know, so those are
Wait,
my
change my
tops.
mind.
What's
Kidding.
Lula's?
I know,
Remember, what's
keep on
Lula's
too.
with The Rock?
Oh,
That was her favorite. Remember, he has the
Oh,
daughter.
man.
Oh, yeah.
He has the daughter that he finds. Do you remember what it is, Bethany?
No, but I got one for you guys that no one said.
Oh,
Huh.
Blindside.
Blindside.
Oh, man,
That's good.
Dang it.
That's
Changing
good.
my number
I
one
know.
again.
I know. Rick's got about 20 number ones up
I know.
here.
Yeah.
That's all the honorable mentions are number one.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, any football movie you can think of. Like I said, I think I lean towards more like those coach ones. You know what I'm saying? Because like you look at like even from Varsity Blues, like I mean, what he was doing was we do winners, we win here. You know, and that was just the way he did things. And like you think about it, like you know, even those dads, like, oh, is he being hard on you? Golly, he used to do that to me, man. You live the time of your lives out there, you know. Like
Yeah.
it always cracks me up, man.
Yeah,
Oh, man. We forgot We Are Marshall.
Oh, we're Marshalls.
tough.
Hey, no,
Yeah.
my any given Sunday one is the reason why I like that one so much. Not just because of Jamie Foxx and Al Cool J, but their coach.
Yeah,
Their coach was Al
Al
Pacino.
Pacino.
That's who
Yeah.
I want as a coach.
he just
man.
like the locker room scenes.
The
Hey,
longest
bruh.
yard.
Longest yard. Yeah,
Hey,
Water
hey,
Boy.
that's a good one.
The locker room scene, the
Yeah.
longest
Oh
yard.
my God.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
guys. Okay,
And then,
so
what about what about the replacements?
the replacements,
Keanu.
yeah,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Game Plan. That's the name of it.
Yeah,
Kunu.
game plan. So that's what Bethany said. Yeah.
Jerry Maguire.
Reeves.
Water Boy. How can
Water-
we forget
how can we
Water
forget
Boy?
Water
I
Boy?
just said, oh no, kicking and screaming. But that's
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 football.
That's
Football.
football. Hey, Waterboy. I know.
Yeah.
How can
you
how
forget
can
Water
you
Boy?
forget
That's
that
the
one?
thing.
I
said-
just said.
The
That's-
Mud Dogs.
Just the quotables from all these movies. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, it's
we got to get back into this kind of a topic during
Yeah,
football
we'll
season
get
too,
there.
and we'll
We'll
get
get
there.
there.
Hey,
Good
Bethany,
episode.
before we end up saying goodnight for the evening, that song you're playing right there, can you start it over and play it a little bit louder for the?
It wants to do a dance.
Okay, no. All you old school folks, you guys hear that sound right there? I'm gonna tell you guys do something real fast. Like, so one of these nights, say your husband or your man, he's in the other room and you know he's not paying attention to anything. Try to find this on YouTube, the Monday Night Football theme song, and turn it on and turn it up and see what happens.
That camera rolling. See how
Yeah,
quick they
yeah.
get in
Record it
there.
too.
Timer going.
I bet you'll see some funny stuff, man.
It's not even football season. They're gonna come running.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Jess better not do that to me.
All
I'll be wiping out, man.
I mean, honestly, you guys can hit up the chat, hit up Quince, hit up Bethany or whatnot. Give us some more top threes you'd like to hear. I thought that went really well. I think everybody kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think we had a good time doing it. But I mean, the top threes, you could even do top 3 sports announcers. You know what I mean? Who
Oh,
your
yeah.
favorite play callers are? What's your top 3 sports calls of all time? Right? Like the
Yeah.
miracles and can you believe in miracles? You know,
Top-
that kind of stuff. You know.
Top 3 game winners.
Yeah,
Top
there you
3,
go.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we got a good idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it rolling right there. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Okay, so before we actually get up out of here, I want to make sure and remind the listeners that next week on Wednesday. I'm gonna mention this for one of our young relatives here.
Nick Santasy.
Nicholas Santasy. I want to say congratulations. He is a senior, and I believe he's going
Graduating
to
from
school.
Midland.
School at Midland. He's graduating, and he's a 4-year student athlete in lacrosse. And right now, he's actually the only Winnebago person around here from Winnebago, Nebraska, that I know that actually learned lacrosse and went out and used it. He'd been playing for
Played for
other
UNL.
colleges, UNL.
Yeah.
You know, and he just made a name for himself. He even comes back during football season and tries to help out with the football team too.
Let's get him on the show.
Yeah, Nick Sanssouci, give me or you a holler, and we'll definitely get you in here, and you can share with the listeners your experiences in that lovely sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, wrap it up to about lacrosse, because I know there's plenty of programs and people in our community that want their kids to play lacrosse.
Yep.
I got all the equipment. I
You
just
got all
found
the
it in my
equipment,
storage, and I need somebody to show me how to use it.
Nicholas, we have equipment for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have equipment for you. Just like we say about our basketball players and football players. Once you're done with your college and all your learning out there, come back here and give back to the game. All right, one last announcement. Next week on Wednesday, on the episode 21 of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show, we are going to have our very own professional bare knuckle fighter from Winnebago out of Omaha, Nebraska, Carlos Trinidad Snake. We're going to have him here on an exclusive interview. Hopefully, he is going to bring his brother, which is also a fighter, and his mother down here to get an interview, and we're going to have a good time next week. So
Bethany said she's cooking.
Oh, Bethany's and cook up, I guess. Send some plates up here to us during that time.
Don't go in our Carlos. We're gonna eat.
Yeah, I know. Hey, have your little sister Maria cook up some of those taco asadas and bring them up here. She cooked that for me one time. Well, hey, Coach Brooke, Coach Eug, you guys, thanks for being on this episode here. Thanks to DJ Besame for being on the ones and twos and sharing with you guys all the stuff on Facebook and YouTube.
Thanks for having me. Just a quick reminder, we have T-ball set registrations tomorrow. It looks like we won't be able to have the clinic possibly tomorrow, but for sure registration if you haven't registered your kids.
Anything else huge?
First baseball game May 10th, and if another one to follow on May 11th. Look out for it. The May 10th is the first home game here in Winnebago.
Yeah, they'll be posting everything on the Whirling Thunder and the tribe's website, everybody. So just make sure and keep your eyes out for that. From me and from the rest of us here, the crew here, we say thank you for listening, and we are out of here until next week. Thank you, everybody.
Later.